At midnight, my grandma said, "Don't go home." I listened. Then police surrounded my street, and that night, my grandmother called me at midnight with a chilling warning, "Don't go home." I listened, confused but uneasy. And minutes later, police swarmed my street with sirens and guns drawn. What I discovered that night wasn't just a crime scene. It was a family secret buried for decades, one that nearly cost my mother her life. The clock had just struck midnight when my phone vibrated violently on the nightstand. I groggily reached for it, squinting at the screen. Grandma. My heart skipped. She never called at night. "Hello, Grandma," I whispered, my voice thick with sleep. Her voice came through, shaky, almost trembling. "Sweetheart, don't go home tonight. Promise me." I sat up straight. "What? Grandma, what are you talking about?" I was just about to leave work. I was going to head home. "No," she snapped, firmer this time, though her fear still leaked through. "Don't go home. Not tonight. Please, just listen to me." I rubbed my forehead, trying to make sense of her words. "Grandma, is something wrong with the house? Did something happen? Is Mom okay?" She paused, as though debating with herself, then whispered, "Something terrible is going to happen there. You can't be inside when it does." My blood ran cold. I tried to laugh it off. "Grandma, you're scaring me. Did you have one of your dreams again?" Silence. Her silence said everything. My grandmother had always been different. Some in our family said she was superstitious. Others whispered that she had a gift. I never really believed in her visions, but now, hearing her voice crack, I felt a knot form in my stomach. "Okay," I said, finally, my throat dry. "I won't go home. But where should I go?" "Stay where people are. Stay in the light," she whispered. "And whatever you hear later, don't ignore it." The call ended before I could ask more. I sat there, phone in hand, staring into the dark. My apartment key weighed heavy in my pocket, but her words kept echoing in my mind. 10 minutes later, as I ordered a coffee in the only 24-hour diner nearby, I heard it, the sharp wail of sirens. Blue and red lights flashed through the windows, racing toward my street. Then came the chilling announcement over the radio behind the counter. "Breaking news. Police have surrounded a residential block on Willow Street after reports of an armed suspect hiding inside a home." My street, my home, and suddenly I realized Grandma had known. The diner buzzed with quiet conversations, but for me, the world had gone silent. My eyes were glued to the flashing police lights outside. The waitress noticed me staring. "Hey, you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost." I swallowed hard. "That's my street," I said quietly. "That's where I live." Her eyebrows shot up. "Seriously? Then it's good you're not there right now. Sounds like something bad's going down." I dialed my mom. No answer. I tried again. Straight to voicemail. My chest tightened. My grandmother's words replayed in my head. "Don't go home tonight." I grabbed my jacket and bolted out of the diner. The night air was cold, sharp in my lungs, but adrenaline pushed me forward. As I approached the police barricade, I saw officers in tactical gear, weapons drawn, their voices crisp and commanding. "Sir, you can't go past this line," one officer warned, raising his hand. "I live here," I protested. "My mom is inside. We have reports of an armed suspect. We can't let anyone through." My knees nearly buckled. "Armed suspect? In my house?" The officer's jaw tightened. "We don't know which house. Stay back, for your own safety." I stepped away, trembling, my eyes darting to the shadows beyond the barricade. Then I spotted her grandma. She stood on the corner, wrapped in her old shawl, her face pale under the streetlights. "Grandma," I rushed to her side. "How did you?" She grabbed my wrist with surprising strength. "I told you not to go home. Do you see now why?" I stared at her, breathless. "How did you know this would happen?" Her lips quivered, but her eyes were steady. "Because this isn't the first time. Sweetheart, it's happening again." "Again?" I echoed, confused. But before she could explain, a loud bang echoed from my street. People screamed. Police shouted commands. And I realized whatever was going on inside that block was far more dangerous than I imagined. The gunshot rattled the night. Officers dropped to their knees, weapons aimed, shouting orders I couldn't understand. My heart pounded so hard it hurt. I turned to Grandma. "You knew this was going to happen. Tell me what's going on." Her grip on my wrist tightened. Her voice was low, almost trembling but firm. "There's someone in your house. Someone who doesn't belong. And I've seen his face before." My mouth went dry. "What do you mean? Who is he?" She shook her head. I don't know his name, but I saw him years ago in a dream. He brings danger wherever he goes. Before I could ask more, a man's voice pierced the night. It came from a megaphone. This is the police. We know you're inside. Come out with your hands up. I froze. The house they were shouting at, my house. No, I whispered. That can't be. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text. I pulled it out with trembling fingers. It was from an unknown number. Don't trust the police. Meet me behind the alley. M. I showed it to Grandma, my hands shaking. Who is this? Do you think? Her eyes widened. Delete it. Don't you dare go. But what if it's Mom? I argued desperately. Grandma's voice cracked. Your mother wouldn't send that message. Before I could reply, a shadow moved behind the barricade, slipping between houses. For a second, I thought I saw a tall figure with something metallic glinting in his hand. I backed away, panic rising in my throat. Grandma, what if he's inside with Mom right now? What if she's... Another bang, then shouting. Police swarmed closer to my home, their flashlights cutting through the dark. And then a scream. A woman's scream. Mom! I shouted, trying to run forward, but officers pushed me back. One of them barked, stay behind the line. Tears burned my eyes. My whole body shook as I turned to Grandma. What aren't you telling me? I demanded. Her face was pale, her lips trembling. Finally, she whispered the words that made my stomach drop. Because the man inside that house isn't a stranger to us. The world spun around me. Her words echoed like thunder. The man inside that house isn't a stranger to us. What do you mean? I gasped. Who is he? Grandma's eyes filled with tears, but she didn't look away. He's your uncle. My breath caught in my throat. That's impossible. I don't have an uncle. She shook her head slowly. You were never told. Your mother wanted to keep it buried. Years ago, before you were born, your grandfather, he had another son. From another woman. We kept it quiet for the family's sake. But he went down the wrong path. Crime, gangs, prison. He disappeared for years. I prayed we would never see him again. I stared at her, stunned. And now he's in our house. With Mom. A sob escaped Grandma's lips. I warned your mother. I told her my visions showed his return, that danger would follow. She didn't believe me. She said the past was dead. The police shouted again. Come out with your hands up. This is your last warning. I felt like the ground was slipping beneath me. My chest tightened as memories of Mom's secrecy flickered in my mind. Phone call she'd in the moment I entered the room, the locked drawer in her bedroom, the way she sometimes cried at night when she thought I couldn't hear. Grandma, I whispered. Did Mom know he was back? Her silence was my answer. Suddenly, the front door of our house creaked open. Floodlights blinded the night as an officer yelled, "Stay where you are." A tall figure stepped into view, hands raised, a gun glinting in the harsh light. His face was gaunt, with sharp cheekbones and wild eyes. And then I saw it, the resemblance. The same dark hair as Mom, the same stubborn jawline. That's him, Grandma whispered, trembling. That's your Uncle Marcus. The man's voice cracked across the night. Don't shoot. She's hurt. She needs help. I froze. He tilted his head toward the house. My sister, she's bleeding. My knees nearly gave out. Mom. The officers shouted commands, but all I could hear was my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. Mom was inside, hurt, and the man holding her fate in his hands was the uncle I never knew existed. The tension was suffocating. Floodlights bathed the street in harsh white, casting long shadows across the houses. My uncle, Marcus, stood on the porch, his hands raised, eyes darting like a cornered animal. Don't shoot, he shouted again, his voice desperate. She's bleeding. She needs an ambulance. The officers aimed their rifles, unmoved. Put the weapon down first. Marcus's gaze flickered between the cops and me. For a heartbeat, our eyes locked. There was something raw in his expression, not just rage, but fear. I couldn't stay silent. I stepped forward, my voice breaking. Where's my mom? Kid, stay back, one officer barked, holding out his arm. Marcus's face twisted. She's inside. I didn't mean to hurt her. It was an accident. His voice cracked. But if they shoot me, she'll die in there alone. My whole body shook. Then let her go. He hesitated, his hands trembling. The gun glinted as it wavered in his grip. They'll kill me the moment I step away. I know how this ends. Grandma gripped my arm. Don't go near him, she whispered fiercely. But something inside me rebelled. I couldn't stand there while Mom was suffering just a few feet away. I tore free from Grandma's grasp and shouted, "Then take me instead. Let Mom out." A gasp rippled through the crowd. Even the officers froze. Marcus's eyes widened. For a long, breathless moment, he just stared at me. Then, slowly, a broken smile tugged at his lips. "You're brave, just like her." The police shouted warnings, ordering me to back away. But Marcus raised his voice above them all. "Fine, I'll make you a deal. You let me walk away, and she lives. If not..." He trailed off, tilting his head toward the house. A cold shiver crawled down my spine. He was bargaining with lives, my mother's, maybe even mine. The lead officer spoke in his radio, his expression hard. But I didn't wait. Against every warning screaming in my head, I took a step closer. "Marcus," I said, forcing my voice not to shake, "you don't have to do this. Please, if you care about her at all, let her out." His jaw clenched. His finger twitched dangerously near the trigger. Then he whispered words that made my blood run cold. "You don't understand. I came back because of you." His words froze me where I stood. "I came back because of you." The street went quiet, as if even the wind was holding its breath. I felt the eyes of every officer, every neighbor, and my grandmother drilling into me. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice cracking. Marcus's face twisted with something I couldn't name. Regret? Anger? Desperation? "You think you know your family? You don't. You were kept in the dark, just like me. But you're the only one who can fix this." "Fix what?" I demanded. Before he could answer, Mom's voice echoed weakly from inside the house. "Don't listen to him." Her cry was faint, pained, but sharp enough to cut through the chaos. "Mom!" I tried to run forward, but the police caught my arms, dragging me back. Marcus shouted, his voice breaking. "She doesn't want you to know the truth. She's been lying to you your whole life." My heart hammered. What truth? Grandma's grip found my wrist again, her hand trembling violently. "Don't believe him," she hissed. "He twists everything. That's how he survives." But Marcus only laughed bitterly. Of course she'd say that. Ask her about the inheritance. Ask her why I was erased from the family. The word inheritance struck me like a slap. My grandfather. I remembered the quiet funeral, the hushed arguments between Mom and Grandma afterward. I'd never been told details, only that family business didn't concern me. My voice shook as I shouted, "What do I have to do with any of this?" Marcus's eyes gleamed with something almost manic. Because the money, his money, wasn't just meant for them. It was meant for me too. And now by blood, it's meant for you. That's why I came back. That's why they're so afraid. Grandma gasped beside me, but I couldn't look away from him. My uncle, my mother's brother, a stranger who claimed my life, was tangled with his. The officers moved in closer, shouting commands, but Marcus lifted his gun again, pressing it against his own head now. "Either you hear me out, or your mother won't be the only one bleeding tonight." My legs shook. I felt trapped between two worlds. The safety of the police and the haunting pull of family secrets I was never meant to know. And in that moment, I realized whatever happened next would tear open everything my family had tried to bury. The street was drowning in sirens, voices, and tension so sharp it burned. My Uncle Marcus stood on the porch with the gun pressed to his temple, his eyes wild, his voice cracking. "Listen to me before it's too late. You deserve to know," he shouted. The officers fanned out, their rifles locked on him. One wrong move, and it would all be over. I tried to steady my voice. "Put the gun down, Marcus. Please. If you care about family, if you care about Mom, don't make this worse." He shook his head violently. "Family? They left me to rot. They erased me from every photo, every story, every memory. And now they want to erase me from life itself." Grandma stepped forward, her frail frame shaking, but her eyes fierce. "Marcus, stop this. Your father left you something too, his shame. You chose this path. Don't drag my grandchild into it. Shame." Marcus's laugh was hollow, broken. "No, he left me with nothing, but he left them everything. And now I want my share." Before anyone could move, a figure stumbled out of the house. Mom. Blood stained her shirt, but she was alive, clutching her side as she leaned against the doorway. Her voice was hoarse, but steady. "Marcus, you think this is about money? You think Dad left me everything? You're wrong." He froze, blinking. "What are you talking about?" She looked at me, then back at him. "He left it to both of us. But I never told you because I knew you'd waste it, or worse. And I wanted to protect my child." My stomach dropped. Both of them. That meant Marcus wasn't lying, at least not completely. For a moment, silence swallowed the street. Marcus lowered the gun slightly, confusion flashing across his face. His voice cracked. So all this time, but the hesitation was enough. "Take him," the lead officer barked. In a blur, armed men rushed forward. Marcus spun, panic twisting his features, and the gun fired. A deafening crack split the night. I screamed, but when the smoke cleared, Marcus was pinned to the ground, his weapon kicked away. He was alive, but broken, sobbing into the pavement as the cuffs clicked shut. I sprinted to Mom, catching her as she collapsed. "Mom, stay with me. Please." She smiled weakly through her pain. "I told you, don't ever believe his lies. You're stronger than him. Stronger than all of this." Tears blurred my vision as the paramedics rushed in. Behind us, Marcus was dragged away, his voice echoing one last time. "This isn't over. The blood we share, it binds us forever." As the ambulance doors closed on Mom, Grandma squeezed my hand. Her eyes glistened with sorrow, but also relief. "You see now," she whispered, "some secrets can destroy a family, but listening tonight saved yours." And as we drove away under the flashing red and blue lights, I realized she was right. If I had gone home that night, I might never have lived to hear the truth.